to matter at rest, sleepy science. I'm glad you decided to join me tonight as we drift through space together. If you've had a long day or your mind feels restless, you're in the right place. Tonight, we'll explore a series of unsettling facts about space. Quiet ones. There's nothing here to follow closely and nothing you need to remember. Just let the ideas move past you as you rest. We'll begin now. One of the strangest things about the universe is how much of it lies beyond our reach. Entire regions exist that will never be touched, visited, or contacted. The universe is expanding everywhere at once. Space itself stretches, and as it does, galaxies drift farther apart, slowly and quietly, without sound. Because of this stretching, there is a limit to how far light can ever travel toward us. Beyond that distance, light never arrives. Some galaxies are carried away so quickly that the space between us grows faster than light can cross it. This creates a cosmic event horizon, a quiet limit beyond which information never reaches us. Some galaxies visible tonight have already crossed that horizon. We see them as they once were, while their present moment remains forever out of reach. Over time, their light thins and fades until it stops arriving altogether. This is separation, unfolding gently. We live within a small island of matter and glow, floating in a much larger sea we will never touch. Space appears calm, yet it is filled with invisible activity. High energy particles move constantly through it, passing through stars, planets, and bodies without pause. Cosmic rays born from distant explosions cross the universe silently. Even now, some pass through your body, leaving faint traces of energy before moving on. Beyond Earth's magnetic shield, radiation accumulates steadily, shaping planets, stripping atmospheres, and altering life over time. Space does not rely on sudden danger. It works through exposure and persistence, shaping outcomes quietly. Some of the most powerful events in the universe release their energy in narrow beams. Gamma-ray bursts occur when massive stars collapse or dense remnants collide, producing flashes brighter than entire galaxies. If one of these beams were aligned with Earth, it would arrive without warning. The atmosphere would change slowly. Ultraviolet radiation would increase. Life would struggle quietly over years rather than moments. Evidence suggests such events may have influenced extinctions before. A distant star, collapsing far across the galaxy, could shape conditions here without ever being seen. Most of reality consists of substances that never emit light. Dark matter holds galaxies together through invisible gravity. Dark energy drives space to expand faster over time. Together, they dominate the universe. Their effects are measurable, yet their nature remains unknown. Everything visible moves within a framework built largely from the unseen. Over time, dark energy stretches space further, isolating galaxies and thinning the night sky. Reality continues, supported by forces that remain beyond direct contact. Time behaves differently depending on speed and gravity. Near massive objects, time slows. Near black holes, it stretches dramatically. Motion near the speed of light alters time as well. Two observers can experience entirely different amounts of time while sharing the same universe. Time becomes local, flexible, shaped by mass and motion. Black holes represent places where understanding thins. Beyond their event horizons, every possible path leads inward. Inside, physics loses coherence. Space and time exchange roles. Information carried by falling matter may vanish or persist in ways still unresolved. As black holes slowly evaporate, questions remain about what survives. At the center of galaxies, massive black holes shape motion across thousands of light years, anchoring systems while quietly challenging the idea that reality preserves everything. Over immense time, the universe drifts toward stillness. Star formation has already declined. Gas thins. New suns become rare. White dwarfs cool. Neutron stars fade. Black holes evaporate. Energy spreads evenly until no gradients remain. Motion continues, yet nothing meaningful happens. This is heat death, arriving through exhaustion rather than collapse. Physpixels allows possibility that the universe rests in a temporary state. A shift in fundamental balance could rewrite reality instantly. A microscopic bubble expanding at light speed could change physical laws entirely. There would be no warning, no awareness. Reality would simply fail to continue in its current form. The universe offers no guarantee of permanence. Time itself may depend on interaction to exist. In quantum mechanics, outcomes remain undefined until interactions occur. Some theories suggest time emerges only where observation and memory persist. Without observers, moments may lose sequence. Entire regions could exist where change has no order. Experience depends on awareness. Without it, reality may freeze into potential alone. The universe may evolve toward states where observation becomes impossible. Expansion isolates galaxies. Energy thins. Structures capable of awareness become rare. Reality continues, yet experience fades. The universe may persist without witnesses, unfolding silently, unrecorded. Despite vastness and age, the universe remains quiet. Signals searched for across the sky reveal no clear voices. Civilizations may rise briefly, then vanish. Some may remain silent by choice. Others may never overlap in time. Awareness may be scattered thinly across space and history, each instance alone. Reality reality itself may update only where interaction demands it. Vast regions may remain unresolved. As entropy rises and encounters grow rare, reality may stop generating new moments. The universe continues mathematically, yet experience dissolves. Reality may reconstruct itself moment by moment. Time may advance in discrete ticks. Continuity may exist only through memory encoded in each moment. Each present may arrive fully formed, carrying a convincing story of having come from somewhere, while previous moments vanish entirely. Existence itself may be conditional. Physics does not require the universe to continue. One moment may exist, and the next may simply fail to arrive. There would be no experience of ending, because time itself would not continue. Media may be the only thing holding identity together. In principle, a single moment containing the right arrangement of information could produce the appearance of a long past. Experience would feel continuous, even if history never occurred. From within, there would be no difference. Information may be slowly erased. Entropy spreads energy and blurs detail. Signals degrade. Structures dissolve. As expansion isolates regions, information becomes inaccessible. Over time, the universe forgets itself, smoothing away distinction. Reality may compress itself. The holographic principle suggests limits on how much information space can hold. Depth may be an illusion. Over time, detail fades. Experience grows coarser. Memory becomes fragile. At the deepest level, cause and effect may lose order. Events may influence one another without clear sequence. Causality may emerge only where interactions enforce it. Beneath stability lies a layer where sequence dissolves. Because light travels slowly, the universe we see is always delayed. Entire regions may have already changed beyond recognition, while their last light continues arriving. Black holes represent a place where the universe's rules begin to fail quietly rather than dramatically. They form when massive stars collapse under their own gravity, compressing matter beyond anything familiar. What remains is an object so dense that space curves inward completely, creating a region where escape becomes impossible once crossed. At the boundary of a black hole lies the event horizon. This is the point where gravity becomes overwhelming. Beyond it, every possible path leads inward. Light, particles, and information all follow the same direction. From the outside, this boundary appears calm and featureless. No warning flashes, no visible edge appears. Objects simply pass a point where return no longer exists. Inside this boundary, current physics loses coherence. Equations break down. Space and time exchange roles. Movement through time becomes as unavoidable as movement through space once was. Matter compresses further, pulled toward a central region known as the singularity, where density approaches infinity and known laws stop providing answers. What makes black holes especially disturbing is the question of information. When matter falls in, it carries structure, history, and detail. Quantum physics insists that information must always be preserved. Gravity, as described by general relativity, suggests that information disappears into the singularity. These two frameworks disagree in a way science has not resolved. This conflict is called the black hole information paradox. It raises the possibility that black holes either destroy information entirely or store it in forms that reality itself cannot currently describe. Both outcomes carry unsettling implications. Either the universe allows permanent loss, or its deepest structure remains hidden beyond reach. Over time, black holes slowly emit radiation, a process known as Hawking radiation. As they do, they lose mass and eventually fade. What happens to the information they absorbed remains uncertain. Some theories suggest it escapes in distorted fragments. Others imply it dissolves completely, leaving no trace of what once existed. Black holes also influence their surroundings long before anything crosses the horizon. They warp orbits, stretch matter into long strands, and heat nearby space to extreme temperatures. Stars, torn apart by their gravity, release energy that briefly outshines entire galaxies, revealing violence hidden behind otherwise silent motion. What makes this frightening is subtlety. Black holes do their work quietly. They do not announce themselves unless matter wanders too close. A region of space can appear ordinary while concealing an object capable of dismantling structure, erasing history, and bending reality beyond recognition. At the center of most galaxies, including our own, a supermassive black hole waits. It shapes stellar motion across thousands of light years. It anchors systems, influences formation, and remembers everything that falls inward in ways the universe may never fully explain. Black holes stand as reminders that the universe contains places where understanding dissolves, where existence compresses beyond interpretation, and where reality itself may quietly forget what it once held. Long before matter vanishes into places where understanding dissolves, the stars above have already decided which worlds fade first. Some stars are already dangerous, even while appearing calm. There are stars whose internal reactions fluctuate in ways that remain poorly understood. Their output shifts subtly over time, releasing waves of radiation that move outward long after the star appears unchanged. A planet may experience rising mutation rates, collapsing ecosystems, and biological failure without ever knowing why. Nothing strikes, nothing burns. Life simply stops functioning correctly. Certain stars release radiation capable of breaking molecular bonds. DNA unravels. Proteins misfold. Reproduction fails. The planet remains intact. Oceans still present. Skies still blue. Yet life quietly ends from the inside out. There are stars that rotate so fast they distort themselves, flattening at the poles and flinging matter into space. These stars bathe surrounding regions in intense, uneven radiation. Any worlds nearby experience unstable climates and erratic energy exposure. Seasons lose meaning. Stability never arrives. Some stars create invisible bubbles of lethal radiation that expand outward for thousands of years. When these bubbles pass through a planetary system, they do not announce themselves. They alter atmospheric chemistry slowly. Oxygen levels shift. Ozone thins. Surface radiation increases gradually enough that extinction unfolds without a single catastrophic moment. There are stars that emit powerful flares capable of stripping atmospheres entirely. A single event can remove a planet's protective shield in hours. Once exposed, stellar winds finish the process over time, leaving behind a barren surface that once supported oceans and weather. Other stars collapse in stages so extreme that nearby space becomes flooded with neutrinos, particles that pass through almost everything. Trillions stream through planets, bodies, and living cells every second. Most do nothing. Some collide. Over long timescales, damage accumulates silently. Stars do not act alone. Their deaths seed space with radioactive elements that drift through the galaxy. These materials settle into forming systems, embedding instability into planets before they ever cool. Some worlds are born already compromised. There are regions of the galaxy where stars die frequently enough that long-term life never stabilizes. Civilizations could rise only to be erased repeatedly before ever understanding the cause. No ruins remain, no signals persist, just resets. From Earth, stars appear as distant decorations. From space, they are ongoing processes of erosion. They shape worlds by exposure rather than force. They erase quietly, patiently, and without intent. The most unsettling part is this: the night sky looks the same on worlds that survive and worlds already doomed. The stars above them shine just as calmly, and nothing in their light reveals which ones are already ending something far away. Now, if you've ever ventured far into space in your imagination and wondered what it would be like to be trapped there, the answer would begin without warning. There would be no sudden event. Systems could continue running. Lights could stay on. The view outside might remain calm, distant, unchanged. The shift would come through awareness. Communication would weaken first. Messages would take longer. Replies would arrive late, then stop entirely. At first, the silence would feel temporary, a delay that still seemed solvable. Time would pass. Hours, days, weeks. Nothing outside would signal danger. Stars would remain fixed. Space would stay still. Inside, certainty would thin. Rescue would move from expected to unlikely, then to impossible. At a certain distance, technology Energy elsewhere would stop mattering. Signals would stretch too far. Even a rescue mission could never cross the growing space in between. Expansion would carry everything apart faster than help could arrive. The vessel could remain intact while becoming unreachable in principle. Survival could continue even after connection had ended. Life support would become the next measure of time. Oxygen, water, power. Each resource marking duration rather than progress. Space would offer no resistance and no assistance. There would be no sensation of drifting away, no feeling of motion, only the understanding that everything else was receding forever. Even if the body endured, the mind would change first. Isolation in space is complete. No sound, no weather, no environment responding back. Every action would return nothing. Eventually, sending messages would feel unnecessary. There would be no receiver left who could hear them. The universe would continue unchanged. Stars would still burn elsewhere. Planets would still turn. Time would move forward without pause. Being trapped would leave no mark on the universe. From the outside, nothing would appear different. From the inside, existence would shrink to a single closed system, moving through an expanding void. When life ended, there would be no signal that reached anyone. No marker, no trace. Only a small collection of matter continuing along its path, indistinguishable from everything else. Space does not act. Space offers no answers. It simply continues. When we look up at the night sky, it feels immediate. Stars appear close, steady, present. Yet the truth is that most of what we see is separated from us by distances so vast, the mind has trouble holding them. Stars are measured in light years. A light year is the distance light travels in a single year, moving faster than anything else known. Even at that speed, crossing the space between stars takes years, decades, centuries, or far longer. Some of the stars visible to the naked eye are hundreds of light years away. The light reaching your eyes tonight began its journey long before this moment. It moved through empty space for years without pause until it finally arrived. Others are much farther, thousands of light years away, tens of thousands. Their light began traveling when human history looked very different, or had barely started at all. We can see stars at these distances because light persists. Once it leaves a star, it continues forward until something absorbs it. Space offers very little resistance, allowing light to travel vast stretches without interference. What matters is what that light represents. We never see stars as they exist in the present. We see them as they were when their light began its journey. Some points of light in the sky belong to stars that have already changed or collapsed. Their light continues arriving anyway, creating the appearance of presence. sky becomes a collection of messages sent long ago. Each star carries a different delay. Nearby stars show recent history. Distant stars reveal far older moments. Simply by looking upward, we observe many different eras at once. Even dramatic events arrive late. When a supernova becomes visible, the explosion itself happened long before the light reached Earth. The event has already finished by the time it appears in the sky. Time turns space into a place where everything arrives after it happens. The farther out we look, the further back in time we see. This means the universe we observe is layered. Each direction reveals a different age, compressed together into a single view. The present state of the universe remains mostly hidden. We live surrounded by echoes. The stars feel close because their light reaches us. In reality, they exist far beyond immediate reach, separated by years of travel time. Stars, black holes, time and space are only a few pieces of what exists beyond Earth. They feel immense, yet they barely touch the full range of conditions unfolding across the universe. There are forces and environments forming far from anything familiar, shaped by energy, pressure, and motion in ways that never appear in textbooks or images. Have you ever considered why storms exist beyond Earth, on planets with no oceans and no weather as we understand it, and what it might be like for things that move through those environments, unseen, unnamed, and never discovered? Out here, storms form without rain, without sound, and without end, driven by physics alone. And once you imagine a human presence inside them, distance stops feeling abstract, and space begins to feel much closer. Storms in space feel distant because they happen far away, yet they become far more severe the moment a human body enters them. There is no shelter in these environments, no ground to press against, no atmosphere designed to soften energy. A person inside a planetary storm would exist fully exposed to forces that never slow down. On a gas giant like Jupiter, winds move at speeds that erase structure instantly. A human form would lose all sense of orientation. Pressure would increase rapidly. There would be no surface to reach, only layers of motion pulling inward. The storm would surround completely, leaving no clear direction, no stable reference point. Inside such a storm, isolation becomes total. Sound behaves differently. Vision is swallowed by dense clouds and shifting gas. Navigation loses meaning. Every direction feels the same. The environment does not respond to presence. It continues as if nothing has entered it at all. On Mars, storms unfold in a slower way. Fine dust lifts into the thin atmosphere and remains suspended for weeks. Sunlight fades, temperatures drop. Power systems dependent on light begin to fail. A person on the surface might remain physically intact, while support systems gradually stop working. The danger arrives through duration rather than force. The sky disappears. The horizon dissolves. Day and night lose their rhythm beneath a constant veil of dust. Movement becomes uncertain as familiar landmarks fade into uniform color. Time stretches, marked only by diminishing resources. On Venus, storms take another form. Winds race around the planet at tremendous speed, carrying corrosive compounds through dense layers of cloud. Pressure increases, heat presses inward. A human presence would be surrounded by constant motion and chemical exposure, with no clear boundary between safety and collapse. Beyond planets, storms become harder to picture. Solar storms send waves of charged particles outward through space. A human caught without sufficient protection would experience exposure at a cellular level. Radiation passes through tissue silently, altering chemistry and accumulating over time. There is no sensation to signal danger, no immediate warning, only gradual breakdown. In deeper space, turbulent regions of plasma shift under magnetic forces. Instruments behave unpredictably. Orientation fails. A person would be surrounded by motion without wind, brightness without light, energy without form. What makes these storms isolating is their scale. They do not pass by and leave. They surround. They persist. There is no edge to reach and no calm center to find. Help cannot arrive quickly. Signals weaken. Even knowing where you are becomes uncertain. Inside a space storm, isolation extends beyond silence and distance. The environment fills everything, leaving no reference point outside itself. Survival becomes a matter of time rather than struggle. And now, as everything we've explored begins to settle, it helps to remember that space also offers reassurance. Across the universe, there are regions where nothing rushes. Vast clouds of gas drift in silence for millions of years before forming stars. These stellar nurseries grow slowly, shaped by gravity alone, without shock or collapse. Creation often begins in quiet conditions, unfolding at a pace so gentle it feels timeless. Water, one of the most familiar substances we know, appears throughout space, frozen on distant moons, suspended as vapor between stars, locked inside comets, traveling slowly through darkness. These discoveries show that familiar ingredients emerge naturally, repeating across the universe rather than appearing only once. Some stars burn calmly for trillions of years. They change very little, offering steady light and warmth long after brighter stars have faded. Around these stars, planetary systems remain stable for vast spans of time, moving in predictable paths that repeat again and again. There are places in space where radiation remains low, where conditions stay consistent, where chaos rarely reaches. These regions persist quietly, untouched by violent events, held together by balance rather than force. Light itself becomes a source of comfort when seen this way. Photons leave stars and travel unchanged for billions of years, crossing space without aging. When that light reaches us, it carries preserved moments from deep time, allowing the universe to share its history without urgency. Gravity, which shapes stars and galaxies, also brings order. It gathers matter gently, creating structure across enormous distances. Without gravity, there would be no galaxies, no stars, no paths for worlds to follow. What holds things together also allows them to endure. Some stars conclude their lives by releasing soft, glowing shells that drift outward for thousands of years. These nebulae spread the elements needed for future worlds. What ends does not disappear. It transforms, becoming part of something that comes later. On the largest scale, the universe moves toward calm. Expansion continues, yet extremes fade. Energy spreads evenly. Motion remains, though without urgency. The universe does not hurry. It unfolds slowly, patiently. And within this vast rhythm, Earth exists as one part of a much larger pattern. A place shaped by the same laws, moving within the same quiet flow, supported by conditions that allow complexity to emerge and continue. So as you rest, you don't need to hold every detail. The universe continues whether you're awake or asleep. Stars form, light travels, motion carries on. You are already part of it, carried gently, even now. Good night.